And when he died, he came to my house and I said, "Oh boy, come on, you can't die here." And I'll have to burn the house down like in Cary. And it's not going to be looking good, man. But I love you much. He said, "Well, maybe Barbara would fly me home." So I didn't have time to even dial her number. And I tried to get a sock on. He said, "Those aren't black." They were my Pippi Longstocking on acid socks. And it took me 10 minutes to get one sock on, and he had had enough, and so did I. He said, better get me a ride to the hospital. And I said, "Boy, the way you move these days," I don't even know how you drove, but the way you're moving, it will take us forever to get there and find you on the truck outline real quick. So we called up the fire department, and they came in, and while they're getting them all situated on that little chair to go down the stairs, I got to tell the story about my friend Boyd. And he was a hero of mine, and he took me by the hand and gave me those backstage tours and introduced me to people I'd never, ever meet. Stephen K. Peeples, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, John.
And I got lucky. I was sitting front row and center. And I guess that would be the way it ends the story, but it's not the end. It's just the beginning. And he'd always say, "God damn it, John, stop talking. You always interrupt me." Well, Boyd, I got the mic now, and you're going on tour. We're gonna do Sunset Strip, his old stomping grounds, and New York. And there'll be some fun things with some laminates and some cool shirts. So I'm gonna take him all the way around the country one more time. Yeah. Then back home we go. Thank you, Boyd. No adios.
Let me just do a quick one.
Ronnie?
I'm right here.
You got a story? There you are. I know you got a story, Ronnie.
When Soren and I got married, we did the goofy, what our little version of the bachelor party was going to be at Ray's with setups and bourbon, and it was, small, and it was just getting started. It was early on, and a very good friend of mine, Angel, had come out from Rhode Island, and he brought his girlfriend with him, Alicia. And so Alicia's sitting at the bar. No one has really come around yet. And Boyd sidles up to Alicia and says, "So, you working?" And she gave him a response straight from Wareham, Massachusetts, straight from, this girl is Portuguese with 3 state trooper older brothers, and she shot him a mouthful that I can't even repeat. But it started with, "No, I'm not working." And they always remembered, Angel and Alicia were always like, "So how's the devil?" That's I guess the funniest of, the first one I can think of. But you know what? The ultimate ghost. The man was the ultimate ghost. Ghosting, coming around, ghosting, coming around. If you pay attention, if you really pay attention, he's still coming around.
Yeah. He's ghosting right now.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Right here. Thanks, Boyd.
Good light.
My name is Stephen K. Peeples. I've been a friend of Boyd's for 40 years. Henry Diltz introduced us in 1978. And I just want to ask the gang here, who has been on a road trip with Boyd?
Shoot by. Shoot by.
Okay, now, tell me if this is similar to your experience. I flew into El Paso, rented a car, drove down to Valentine, and picked him up because we had an event to go to in San Marcos in 3 days. Now, it's not a 3-day drive from Valentine to San Marcos, but we turned it into a 3-day trip.
Shoot by.
Including a night at Rod's and Alpine and a night at Kinky Friedman's just before we got to San Marcos. But I was terrified the entire trip because I didn't know what was going to happen next.
This means a child.
And for 3 days, because I had an event to go to and a deadline, so we had to be at a certain place at a certain time. And he did everything that he could to make sure that we would be late. Well, I pulled an old producer trick and gave him an artificially early deadline that we had to be there.
That's so funny. I do that to my sister all the time.
So we actually made it to the event with an hour to spare. We stayed at John Thornton's the night before that. That was quite an experience. But being with Boyd after that event, we went to San Antonio. We hung out with Jerry Retzloff, who was the marketing director for Lone Star Beer back in the day and had the whole Austin area. And I got to listen to these two guys swap stories for a couple of hours at Green Hall, which was amazing. They had been hanging out with Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan and ZZ Top and everybody, and they had like never met, but they had very similar experiences. The day after the event, after 3 or 4 days on the road and being exhausted, we needed a place to stay. We were in San Antonio. It happened to be the night of the River Walk, so there were no hotel rooms anywhere in town. Well, he happens to know the manager of this swanky-ass hotel in downtown.
Right, of course he does.
What's the name of it? Help me out.
Valencia.
Yeah, it was a Valencia
He took
hotel.
Lakota there.
So he makes a call, and within half an hour, we're in a suite. It cost us like, $100. It's like a $500 suite. Unbelievable. So we got the first good night's sleep that we'd had in about 4 days. And I finally was able to eat, because for 3 days my stomach was like this, because I didn't know what the hell was going to happen next. But it was probably the greatest road trip of my life. I'll never forget it. I'm very grateful that I took a lot of pictures, shot some video, and some of those stories will be in the forthcoming book that we're all working on. And so stay tuned. One last thing. I left my cowboy hat at home because I didn't want to deal with it on the plane. And so I got to the house, to Boyd's studio, and Thornton said, there's 2 cowboy hats on the fridge, take one. So I put one on, that was cool. But then I got to Boyd's house, and he has like an deer antlers thing as his hat rack. And he's got 52 caps. He hangs all of his laminates from his backstage adventures with ZZ Top and Dwight Yoakam and Willie Nelson, and South by Southwest is an Austin Chronicles editor, right? So, I saw this cap, and it was on Shaula's dashboard, and she said, why don't you see if it fits you? I said, okay. So I put it on. She said, it might need some adjusting.
It's perfect.
No adjustment necessary. One of the other guys said, that was kind of meant, I think that was meant to be okay, but I wear this with pride. I wear this with pride.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the other side, brother.
My friend Vance knows Vance and I have been friends since elementary school, and Vance called me about 11 years ago and said, hey, I want to bring you out for your band to play the Marfa Lights Festival. And I said, okay, that's great. And so I traveled out here and got out here a couple days early, and Vance said, yeah, come over here and I want you to meet somebody. And so I rolled in, and they were over at the bar drinking, and it was Boyd. And so that was the first hand that I shook here in Marfa, and I'd never been here before. And anyway, so Boyd says, Vance said, well, I've got some other stuff to do, as always. And Boyd said, I'll take him around. So next morning, Boyd picks me up early in his black Mercedes and takes me out to Valentine and shows me the house and Prada Marfa and tours me around Marfa. And I was like, who's this guy? And so I got to bond with him, and just hearing the stories and being around him, it's an honor to be here. Vance was, this past August, Vance was on the road, taking a road trip, and I kind of felt this need to come out here and see Boyd, and I called Vance, and he said, yeah, I'll meet you in Marfa. So this past August, Vance and I came out here and met in Marfa, and got to hang out with Boyd, and took him to dinner a few nights, and just had a good time. And I guess the last night that we went to dinner, about 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call, and it's Boyd, and Vance goes, hey, don't answer that. And I didn't get the memo that, if you answer it after a certain time, it means that Boyd needs you to come get him because his truck broke down. So that's what it was. So his truck was broken down. He said, hey, Denver, my truck broke down. I'm halfway to Valentine. So I said, yeah, I'll be right there. So I drove out, and I roll up on him, and, the truck's flashing, and I get out and go around, and Boyd was asleep in the passenger seat. And so I have to knock on the door and wake him up. And anyway, he gets up, and we get his groceries and pack the truck and head out to Valentine. And anyway, it was about 1:30 in the morning, and we start talking about what he's doing now and what he was about to do, and he starts cussing about his old body not allowing him to do what he wants to do, and we just talked about a few things like that. And anyway, it was just I felt like it was just meant to be that I got to see him and experience that. There was a song on the radio that was playing as we were driving out to his place, and it was a song that was dear to my heart. And he said, yeah, I met him a couple times when I was out in L.A. and he said, I always liked that song, and so I was going to sing this song. If I can. Anyway, it's called Crystal Ship, and it's poignant to this gathering, I think, and to him. Before you slip into unconsciousness, I'd like to have another kiss, another flashing chance at bliss, another kiss, another kiss. The days are bright and filled with pain, enclose me in your gentle rain. The time you ran was too insane. We'll meet again. So tell me where your freedom lies. The streets are fields that never lie. Deliver me from reasons why you'd rather cry. I'd rather fly. The crystal ship is being filled. 1,000 girls, 1,000 thrills, 1,000,000 ways to spend your time. When we get back, I'll drop a line. Anyway, I think that we're all... together, but I just want to say that we're all spiritual beings having this human experience, and Boyd squeezed out every bit of that, and I know that right now he's up there and he's making these grand artworks with unlimited supplies. And I know right now he's right. He's up there, he's carving out this piece of heaven right there, right out of the edge of the universe, just the way he lived. I love you, Boyd. I'm honored. Thank you.
I don't think anyone else can top that, so let's wrap it up in Party Boyd Elder style.
Yeah.